Hello, I am live. Let me just share the link. Oops. Oh, there's a picture now. YouTube has changed and it doesn't always show a live picture like it used to. But now it's back, I think. Okay. Hi, Dorth. I feel like you saying hi means that my audio is okay. I take it my audio is fine. I'm just going to sign out. Okay. Lovely. So hi, welcome to the Thursday live stream. So for those who are new tuning in, I do this stream every Thursday evening at 6 o'clock UK time. So every Thursday I'm here. Usually I'm here. And so I talk for a while, and then I chat for a while, and I'm really hot. I'm going to take my and then you can ask questions through Skype. Oh God, I just pulled my earring. I was hot and I got cold, and now I'm hot again. So let me just adjust my attire. I'll be cold in a minute again. Whew, that's better. So yeah, welcome. Welcome to the stream. So I've titled the talk, I'll just make sure, the importance, I think the importance of knowing and not knowing what you are. That is the title for today's talk. So just sitting here for a while and just just I don't know what, just sitting here and letting it happen, I suppose. Letting the words come. Take my socks off as well. Oh, it's so beautiful. So what's being spoken about here is totally not knowing, totally what is happening, totally this. This which is uncapturable in words, uncapturable in thoughts and stories. This which is uncapturable. You can't possibly capture it in any language. No matter how radical you are a speaker, you can't capture this in language. It's here, it's this. It's free. It doesn't have limits on it, or it doesn't have boundaries or confinement on it. It's free. It's absolute. It's everything and not a thing. Can't be found. And yet everything is screaming that. Everything is that. Every thought, every movement, every emotion, every action, every idea. This is it. And so normally the human's lost in dreams, lost in thoughts about who it is, about who other is, about the world, what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what's not true. But all of that is a dream. All of that is movement. All of that is abstract thinking. And to not know who you are, to not know what you are, to be imprisoned to thinking, to be imprisoned to who you think you are. Me, my story, who I am, what I am. To be imprisoned to that character, to that story, is suffering, is to not know who you actually are, is to be lost in a dream. And so this is a really crazy thing to say, but this not knowing, it is also knowing. Like, it's also about knowing, which is really crazy. Like, it blows your neurons. This knowing and not knowing. So you can't possibly know who or what you are. You can't possibly know that. You'd have to be a thing. You'd have to be a form, an object, have quality to know what you are if you were a thing. So you can't know what you are. You can't know it. It's totally unknowable. But at the same time, there's a knowing of what you are, which is crazy. A knowing of what you are. But that knowing isn't a mental knowing. It isn't a knowing of awareness or a knowing of intellect or a knowing of an idea. It isn't a mental knowing. It isn't a thought-based knowing. It isn't a picture-based knowing. It isn't a feeling-based knowing. It's a knowing. It's a knowing. It just is. It just, there's a knowing beyond knowing. And it doesn't have language. It doesn't have ideas. And that is so unusual, but different to what we are conditioned into. We're conditioned into knowing. We're conditioned into mental positions and mental knowing. We're conditioned into this movement, this attachment to this time, to this movement, to the forms. So we only know knowing as a thing, an object. Like I'm the subject and I'm knowing something else. I'm knowing who I am. But that isn't what I'm talking about or describing. It isn't a mental, head-based knowing. It's a knowing. You could say based upon not being. It's a knowing based upon not being anything. Like if you're not a thought, if you're not an emotion, if you're not a feeling, if you're not an experience, if you're not a memory, if you're not a preference, if you're not an opinion, if you're not a quality, then what is left? What is left? And that can't be known, that can't be named or labeled. What is left? If you're not any conceivable form or object, even an idea of or a picture of nothing or emptiness is still a something, is still an idea or a concept or a picture. So even that is put to the side as not what I am. It can't be. So what is left? What is left? And I remember being so gutted about hearing that with one of my teachers, like hearing that, you know, there's just, I think they would use being, there's this being. And I was gutted and disappointed because you can't really do anything with that. You can't use it. It's not going to improve your living situation, this sense of being. It's not going to deal with your traumas or improve anything. But it's a really profound pointing, a real profound conversation that's being had. Like we believe so deeply that in our mind, in our story, in our journey in time, the answers are in that. The solution to our suffering is in that. And so to hear about beyond that or apart from that, this being, this empty being, it's a bit flat, like it's not gonna help us on our path and our journey. But it's such a radical, beautiful subject to explore. It's such a radical, beautiful, transformative subject when it's really gone into. And this may take many years, many years. But to believe that the mind-based entity, the mind-based story holds your salvation, you will find salvation in this time-bound journey, this time-bound story, is the suffering of humans. I am this time-bound character. I'm in time. I'm on a journey. I exist in this time-bound reality. And so this is a pointing outside of that. A pointing outside or beyond that. Beyond that dream of thinking. Beyond that level of thoughts and storytelling. And that is unknowable. That is unknowing. It doesn't belong in mind. Doesn't belong in language. Doesn't belong in time. It's totally radically free. And it can't be anywhere else but here. It can't be anywhere else but here. Only this you can be somewhere else. Only you can be in past and in future. Only you can be attempting to be here now, attempting to be in the present. Only this story of you can be doing that. That play, past, future, trying to be here now. This is the dream. This freedom radically already is. It already is. What this is already free. And so what humans get to experience is a knowing of that, and knowing of suffering, and knowing of suffering, and knowing of where suffering is, and a knowing of where freedom is. Like a young baby or an animal doesn't know what suffering is, doesn't even know what freedom is. There's just freedom. There's just freedom. There isn't that development yet of the functioning brain, that the concepts haven't grown enough to incorporate a sense of who I am, identity, a character, a person. So there's just this freedom, which is impersonal, doesn't feel limited, doesn't have a program yet running of me, who I am. And the journey is to get that programming for it to start. This sense of me in time starts. And to fully identify in that story, to fully put that story on as a reality, as truth, to the point where there's no longer a separation. Like There's no longer any kind of space. There's just that story of me, like a losing of that freedom, a losing of that space, a total identification with the story, with the projections. And this is hell. But there's always that seed of heaven there. There's always heaven. Could say heaven, hell is happening in heaven. Like it's not lost. It's here, always here. But there's a play, a story, a film being projected of hell. And in that story, there's a woman trying to get out of hell, believing it's separate and it can enter heaven. But heaven already is. Heaven already is. It's not attached to that person. It's free. It's free. So you could say it's like a relinquishing. I think it's the right word, a relinquishing of that hellish story. The relinquishing relinquishing of it. Yeah. And it's not even saying that stories need to stop. I mean, this is how we communicate. This is thinking. It's more of a knowing who you are. It's a knowing who you are. It's knowing beyond knowing. So the mind may reach to try to understand what is being spoken of. The mind reaches to try and put it in a box, tries to unravel it, understand it, disagree, argue with it, agree, like it, all these things. But none of that is meaningful, none of that is true, none of that means anything. It's already gone. What is spoken is already gone. There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to believe in or agree with or absolutely nothing. And so fear may come up. Fear may visit. And that's totally okay as well. Fear is welcome here, just like everything. What idea can you stand on here? What belief do you need? What argument do you need to stand upon? What's the mind trying to hold on to? Okay. Getting a bit cold now, so I'll just let me just open the chat for a bit of a chat. I don't really like I don't really like chatting. I'm not a fan of small talk, but yes. You can put questions if you have any in the chat box as well as through Skype. So I'll just put it on. I'll put it on a slow mode. Yeah, so Skype, okay. Hi, Titania. Bonsoir. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. No word for. Oh, thank you, Dor. Picture and audio is great. Thank you. No word for explosive joy. Love you. No word for it. That's nice. Explosive joy. That's quite nice. Explosive. Gratitude, yeah. Oops. Oh no, pressed the wrong button. Back. Oops. Oh, bloody hell. I keep pressing the wrong button. Oh, I don't use Skype much anymore, so I just been using Zoom more than Skype recently, so can't find the emoji that I want. Oh. I shall find it. Let me just. Ah. Merci, et bonne soirée à toi. Okay, so I'm on Skype now, so feel free to call in or call in on my phone, or message, send questions through Skype, written or through the chat. You have so many options now. I mean, yeah. Yeah. A humming. Could say explosive joy or a humming joy as well. Like a hum. It's constant hum. It's constant. Yeah. So beautiful. Yeah. The simplicity of it, the ease of it. We always want the explosive, the fireworks, the high peaks of experience. But there it is, hiding in plain sight. This gentle hum, this gentle freedom. This peace, this ease. So I've no questions coming in at the moment, so I'll just wait. Excuse me. I want to shut the window, but I can't be bothered getting up. Like, oh. Hey, Paul. You have a question? I've lost it now. Okay. Hi, Rebecca. Is what you are in any way different from what's happening? Apparent things come and go. Could you say something about this, please? Is what you are in any way different from what's happening? I'm not sure what that means. Is what you are in any way different from what's happening? Please expand on that or clarify that, Paul. I see you're typing. Apparent things come and go. Is what you are in any way different? Is what you are in any way different? Different. I don't know what you mean. Is what you are. He's typing again. Keep clarifying it. Is what you are in any way different? Are you, are you the same as as what you are? Are you the same as what is happening? That's a bit clearer. So are you the same as what is happening? that yes, that is, you could say that is what I am, what is happening. That's all there is what is happening. That's everything. What is happening is everything. There's nothing more or less. But but I'm also not happening. I'm also not a thing. So these are you could say, the two parts of this that aren't really two parts, but to describe them, we can say there's this emptiness, this formlessness, which doesn't have any qualities. It's still, it's empty, it's not a thing, not moving. It's unquantifiable, unfindable. And yet the other side is its hand, it's these words, it's hearing, it's everything that is happening, the movement, the form. And this is the impossibility of the mind to grasp. The everything, nothing. And this seems to be what waking up is. It's the discovery of that emptiness, of that not a thing, not form. But then also, which usually requires a letting go of all form, and not this and not that, a letting go of what you've previously believed to be who you were, a thing, a form, object, true, real, this world. It's a letting go of all of that, a loss of all of that, to discover what you actually are, which isn't a thing. You aren't. But then it doesn't need to stay there. There's also then this, you could say, integration, this collapsing or expanding into everything. This everything. And this is this fine line between the seeming two, this living this, living this. And this feels here like a total disappearance, where there's a living of this, where what I mean is like the human is then freed. It's so integrated. The human is then integrated into this, and then the human becomes like free to be what it is, free to live. Whereas previously the human, obviously there was living, but it was like held tightly, it was constricting, it was seeking, it was uncomfortable, it was not being truly what it was freely. It was living in fear, it was constricted. So a total collapse and a total emptying out, and then a total fullness and a total expansion. at the same time. This fine line, this living, this empty and full at the same time. I mean, you can't get more beautiful. You really can't get more beautiful than this full integration. I just, yeah, it's beautiful, really beautiful. And that, just to say, that's not at all personal. It's totally not personal. Even the human part isn't personal. This is where the emptiness comes in. It's totally empty. No one's living. It's totally, no one's being anything. It's totally, yeah, emptying out of that illusion of you being the intermediacy in between the two. It's like, it's not that anymore, and it's just totally allowed to be as it is. This empty full doesn't need anyone to be human. The human is. Oh, let me just decline that a minute. So I'll bring you back in a second. Let me just multitask. Not now. I was just ending with Paul. Yeah. Thanks for your question, Paul. And thanks for clarifying it as well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Antigone. Accept. Okay. Can you tell me, would you rather call in? I'll call you now. I'll call you back. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Let me just go on to my my phone internet rather than my Wi-Fi. Cool. Okay. Because it affects the streaming, I think, sometimes. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, I tried a question in the Skype. Can you answer it now, or shall I try it next week?
Okay. Would you rather ask it now, or would you prefer I read it and not speak?
No, I can tell it.
Okay.
Can you tell me something about looking from behind? Does it have to do with paying attention to nothingness, like being in a cloud of not knowing, looking at the world without a story? Did you hear my question?
Okay. Yeah, that was a question. Looking from behind. Yeah. I can see what could be meant by that, saying it like that. like when you first get into this subject, you can often hear things like the observer, or looking, something's looking beyond you, like behind you, behind the eyes, or behind who you think you are. So it does kind of, it does make sense to describe it like that. There's something still, there's something behind who you think you are. So you feel you're a character, you're a person here, center stage, and you're looking out, you're observing, you're listening, you're moving through time. And it's attempting to point to something else behind you, behind the idea of you. I just switched to audio. I've got a poor connection here. Hang on. Oh, no. Okay. So it's pointing that you aren't who you think you are. You aren't who the mind is saying you are. Those thoughts aren't true. Those images aren't true. Those projections aren't true. And it isn't so much that you can turn around and look at that. You can't turn around and look at who you are. But it's like pointing to this, who you are. And what can happen is this switch over, this seeming switch over. So rather than identifying through that character, through that limitation of a person, there's a waking up, there's a release of that. And there's something that's always there, that was never in that dream of someone. It was never in the foreground as a person. It was always, as they're saying, behind, or not in that movement on the screen. I've lost your connection now, but yeah, I'll just keep talking. Maybe you could write if you want to say more or ask more. I can't quite. Hello? Oh, you're back. You're back. I lost you for a second. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You answer my question.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Thank you, Rebekah.
Okay. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Had a poor connection. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's a really simple pointing. It's a real simple pointing. A real simple description. Okay, so thank you for your questions, Antigone and Paul, and Titane and Dorth for commenting. As there's no more questions now, it's been an hour, so I'll just I shall leave it there. So have a good week. And I shall see you next Thursday at the same time, 6 o'clock. Okay, thank you. Bye.